Case study design involves making a detailed and quite intensive study of a single case, whether that case is the life of a single individual, a study of group dynamics in a coffee club or a book club, the study of a street corner society, the study of a large institution, or even a nation state or a religion. In all cases, what the researcher is interested in doing is giving his or her readers an in-depth look at a particular case. A researcher who undertakes a case study is interested in answering questions like, what's happening here? Is there any relationship between variables X and variable Y in some entity that we'll call A, whether that entity is a group, a social situation, a text, a nation state, a religious group, whatever the focus of the researcher happens to be. Usually, a case study is associated with a qualitative research strategy because that strategy can generate data that allows the researcher to examine the case under study in an intensive and detailed way. And I say usually because it's not always the case. Sometimes case studies are drawn from a quantitative analysis as well. Often the findings provided by researchers give the reader insights into the concerns or the feelings, the experiences, the beliefs, the values, the relationships between people or among the people in the research study. Case studies often reveal how individual actions, beliefs, behaviors, and so forth are shaped by the social context in which those individuals find themselves. And finally, often the objectives of researchers involved in case studies is to develop a theory, that is to work inductively to identify social problems, and often sociologists who do case studies are concerned with proposing solutions to some problem that they've been studying. Sociology is filled with examples of case studies. Two classic examples that I want to reference here, both fall within the qualitative research strategy. The first is William Foote White's 1943 classic sociological study called Street Corner Society, the Social Structure of an Italian Slum. This is perhaps the most well-known and influential case study done in the early Chicago school tradition, and it is a participant observation study of a poor Italian American community. The significance of the study is related to White's use of his observations to identify and explicate some basic sociological issues involving social relations and social controls in small groups. A second classic study, again in sociology, is Elliot Lebo's 1967 book, Tally's Corner, a study of Negro street corner men. In his book, Lebo reports on his experiences as a participant observer, as was White, within a poor male African-American urban community. He describes the practical problems faced by the men he studied in living their everyday lives and the strategies they used to deal with their lives. The study challenges many of the prevailing assumptions, the ones that were prevailing in the 1960s, and was used by policymakers and academics to reassess how the social services and mental health needs of inner city minority groups could be best addressed.